I'm Stephen Brooks. I'm known as the RubberOnion because there's a lot of Stephen Brookses out there. And my co-host here is Rob Yulfo.
Hello.
That's about as much as you'll hear from him in this interview. So we are going to start by, I always like in interviews to pass it off to the subjects to introduce yourselves and what you do, and in this particular case, what your film was. Because it was shown yesterday. Right? Yeah.
That's right. Hi, I'm Noelle Melody, and my film in Animation Block Party was Potatoes for Pado, which I worked on with my sister Joy.
Hi, Joy Buran.
We're a team of animators and illustrators, and we make commercial animation as well as independent short films. And do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, our film was in the. Did you say it was in the children's program?
I didn't. In the children's program yesterday. It's a film about an old dog who loses his taste for life, and mashed potatoes is the answer to all of his problems.
With cheese.
Yes, cheese.
Cheesy mashed potatoes.
The secret ingredient.
That is the secret ingredient.
And I'm Lizzi Akana. I'm a director and animator, and I did, in the children's program, Sesame Studio presents Celebrate Lunar New Year, and it was a short film.
That's our theme song.
Yeah, we forgot to play it.
There's a delay.
Can I talk? No, it's Sesame Studios commissioned me to do a short music video for their online division, Sesame Studios, teaching preschool-age kids about Lunar New Year, or Chinese New Year.
So we were talking yesterday, just as people, because we're all humans, about programs and things, and you were mentioning something about TV Paint, but was that done in TV Paint, or?
No, that was, I first used TV Paint on just like a last freelance job I worked on, but and usually it's like when I work, it's a combination of different techniques depending on what the style is, but in this piece specifically, I roughed everything out in Flash, and I cleaned it all up in Photoshop, and then composited in After Effects. So.
And that's where you started, in Flash?
Yeah, that was like my bread and butter for...
Now called Animate.
Yeah, now Animate, for those in the know. But it's like, I mean, usually I just find that Flash is great for roughing things out because it's so fast, you can comp things together and make symbols, and it's really good, quick, dirty animation, but for the final, it always, for me, if I have the time, it looks better to do cleanup in Photoshop.
Just quick, was anybody here for the children's screening yesterday? We were talking about, we're talking about styles. What did you use for the animation in your short?
Potatoes for Prado we made exclusively in Toon Boom, which we taught ourselves to use about a year ago. Yeah, I feel like it's a good blend of Photoshop, Flash, and After Effects all in one program, so I really like that you don't have to jump around. There's a big learning curve between Flash and Toon Boom, but like now Noelle and I feel like we work for Toon Boom. We're always telling people, like, you gotta try it, it's great. But we don't.
Currently looking for sponsors, apparently. So yeah, there's a lot of people who jump from Flash to Toon Boom, and they had that feeling. I always got the feeling like Toon Boom was that combination of Photoshop and the Photoshop, Flash, After Effects combination, that merging, which is what you're familiar with, right?
Well, the thing is, it's like, for me, I've mainly worked with any of the programs in the Adobe suite, not necessarily because they're the best animation programs, but it's because what most studios have.
Right.
And so out of necessity, I end up using, I've learned to work with those, because and I think it's actually more recently that studios have started to bring in like Toon Boom and TV Paint and stuff like that, but I've been freelancing in the city for since around 2007, and so for me right now, it's just starting to get a little bit of a change where they're like, oh, let's make it easier for the animators and actually give them programs that are helpful for them. But I mean, because I've used them for so long, it's like I know how to make them work for me. So now I'm just like, they're not maybe as efficient, but I know how to make them do their magic.
So this is your 10-year anniversary in
I just had my 10-year
York.
anniversary in May.
In May?
Yeah.
That's close to, I'm going to make everyone in this room feel very old for a second. You know what came out 10 years ago? The Simpsons movie. Oh. The Simpsons movie came out 10 years ago. Actually, this weekend. It was July 27th. I just saw that.
Wow. And meanwhile, this series is in its 40th year or something now.
And still relevant. Well, maybe that's debatable. But I think they also made the move to Toon Boom, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And we were talking about your short yesterday. I always want to say potato, but that's the joke, right?
That's
Potatoes for pado.
That's why, if you notice, the song in the background is a little rendition of that our friend Dana Gadora wrote, that it's tomato.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you think that.
Yeah, I did have that song stuck in my head for like the remainder of the day. That was not. Now through this thing, I was thinking that it was one of your like dogs, but it was not.
Yeah, it's based on a true story. Pado is a little chihuahua that we used to pet sit for. Joy worked with this woman, Joanne, who the writer, another co-worker of Joy's, Jasmine Way, changed her name to Joan, creative license. And we used to pet sit for him, and he was really old and cranky, but part of his little meal that we had to feed him was like you had to put cheesy mashed potatoes on top of his kibble, otherwise he wouldn't eat. And he would just like, his demeanor would completely change when you added the cheesy potatoes. He would just like become like youthful and alive again, and it really inspired Jasmine to write what was going to be a children's book. Yeah, that's how it started. It was going to be a children's book, and she was working on it with her cousin, and then she came to me and said that she wanted to expand into animation, so we decided to collaborate together and make the film.
How many are you familiar with collaborations? Like, how often do you collaborate, and what's that process like? Because I think a lot of people, animation in specific is tough. I mean, it's a long process, and collaborating kind of makes it a little bit a better
that's
motivation.
what we found. Like, we love working together, so we're constantly collaborating. Yeah, we're twins, so we've been sharing a womb and everything since.
I was going to say, funny thing. Call me crazy, we look alike.
I only realized because when I got lost here in the hotel, I saw them at the other end of the hallway, standing there with a blank stare.
Come play with us, Robbie.
It's a movie about Smith, I think.
We've just been like haunting all the rooms upstairs.
But you still have the thing. I don't know if you still work under the Twins Are Weird thing, .com, whatever. I noticed that on your YouTube. I did my research yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I noticed that at the end of some of your videos.
Yeah, we changed our name because we started working with some. Actually, it was like clients in like the wedding industry, and they were like, twins are weird, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, they were kind of offended. We're like, we're not making fun of twins, we're laughing with them, not at them. Twins are just, automatically weird by nature. But
why are you such a self-hating twin?
Yeah.
yeah, so we changed the name just when we were, getting more commercial work, but it's still kind of like our independent film thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to collaboration. How do you feel about that? Do you look for story ideas, or have you collaborated artistically? Animation, someone does the design or something like that. I mean, not just between the two of you, but outside of that.
Yeah, we have a lot of creative friends, a lot of friends that are writers that inspire us, or like if we're out, like we've made films before, we're out drinking with friends that are just telling a funny story, and we'll just be like, I'm just going to leave my phone here and record this magic moment, and we'll make a film out of that if we think it's funny.
Was that Cece?
Yeah, Cece's Bedtime Stories
Okay.
was our friend drunk one night, like telling us stories about her youth.
From somewhere in New England, I assume.
She's from Long Island.
Yeah, she's got a very. She says no R's. That's just
like if she was going to say Excalibur, she'd say Excalibur.
Excalibur.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's us actually in the film. But yeah, we've been collaborating with people for years, and it's fun. We work with a lot of musicians and sound designers. We haven't really made a film like exclusively ourselves since our thesis film like 10 years ago. Yeah, well, that's because that was a real struggle. So we were like, what are our strengths and weaknesses? Okay, like maybe we'll get someone to write a script or something. And I think one other time we had someone illustrate for us, and then we worked off of his illustrations. But mostly we're the artistic side, or like, the drawings and that sort of thing, the design, and then we'll work with a writer or a musician or just somebody, like she said, just like pressing record. Like our first film, actually, that Scritch Scratch that we did sort of write on our own loosely, we did leave a comedian in a room with a microphone and just let him talk for 2 hours, and then we cut the audio down to 3 minutes. And we were like, this works, right? Yeah, but we do have an idea for our next film, which we are writing together.
Okay.
Yeah, which we came up with this morning on the subway.
That's perfect. You heard it here first. Lizzie, you did a music video I saw on your...
Yeah, I've worked on a few, but the one that is a big one that I was at the helm of was for Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. It was the song Retreat, and I think that was around 2012. But yeah, I've worked on smaller. Like I worked a little bit on like the MGMT music video for kids,
Yeah.
and but that I was like an animator as a part of a team. But Sharon Jones, I was directing.
And you also had on your this is showing my last minute research. You had like 10. You had these like 10-second clips that were like movie trailers or something. And it said Adult Swim.
Yeah, I work a lot for this company. It's Daniel Garcia's company, Yes Boss, and he pitches a lot of jobs for Adult Swim. And when he gets them, like he has several other directors and animators that he works with, but. He's given me a lot of jobs where it's just like you do quick bumpers or trailers for Adult Swim because they like a lot of unique content. So it's like I do a trailer, like I think that one was maybe 30 seconds, but like for Kick-Ass 2, but it's like done in a very like cutesy little like kid robot style, or I'll do like a 10-second bumper for Squidbillies. So it kind of varies, but it's always fun and it's nice because it's like a little. Like, I mean, the 10-second ones are actually pretty fun because it's like not super committal in terms of like a big production. I can usually do them by myself, and
Do you get a lot of notes for the bumpers, or is it just go crazy and do whatever?
I mean, what's actually nice about working with Daniel is that like pretty much I just have to make sure that he's happy, and then he deals with the clients. So I think he sort of manages their expectations and sort of figures out what the bottom line is on their end, and then. My job is just to make sure he's happy, and as long as he's happy, I'm like good, So that's usually all I care about on that.
I overheard you guys talking about like Snapchat animation.
It was mostly just the struggle of animating something for days and then just having to be on Snapchat for just 24 hours.
So the lead up was that.
Never seen it again.
Did anyone do any animation for Snapchat, or is that just like
I don't even understand how to use.
I don't
Yeah, neither do I.
I'm like, this is where I show my age, where I'm just like, I don't know.
I tried.
Sorry.
I've tried multiple times.
I just signed up for Twitter and I haven't even done a tweet yet because I'm like, oh, that's the first one. It should be important.
Oh, pressure? Nobody's gonna go back and read your first tweet. I promise you.
What if they do though? But what if they do?
Then that is not a person you want to talk
I'm
to.
just
The
gonna put a
person
little
who
hand
goes
emoji waving, like, hi, y'all.
just say hi,
Yeah.
forget that this exists, and then move on to your second and third board.
Please add to my social currency.
There you go. Well, let's do that. What are your social media names?
At Lizzi Akana. Very
Easy.
Yeah. I didn't want to be Lizzie_1.
Yeah, but Lizzi. Yes. Okay.
And we're at Joy and Noelle, Noelle.
Have you ever wanted to like combine your names? Because I was thinking about this, and I thought, it's kind of, I think on accident, maybe after a little drinking, Joyelle came out.
Or Joelle.
See, but you do not want to do it the other way around because then it'd be no joy.
Right? That's
Don't want that.
depressing.
I like that.
No joy? Your wedding clients would not be happy with that.
Here we go again.
So, continuing along with the, the research that I did, Bill Murray.
Oh, you saw that.
I did.
That's just, I have a photo, I guess I put it on my website. Note, I have not updated my website or my demo reel since 2010. I swear it's on my to-do list. It's gonna happen, it's really embarrassing. But what that's referencing is, I was at a Halloween party in 2007, and it was like around 3:30 or something. Everyone's like, okay, like, good time, gonna head home. All of a sudden, Bill Murray shows up at the sloth party that we're at in like Brooklyn it was like this, I think on Broadway near the JMZ somewhere. And he just showed up and we were like dancing and hanging out on the roof with Bill Murray, and it was pretty sweet Halloween.
It was either Bill Murray or just a really convincing costume.
Well, he was like,
It was Halloween.
really confusing. Everyone was like, is that a really good Bill Murray costume? But like he just was like plainclothes Bill Murray on Halloween. And like I feel like in Williamsburg too, like, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like I know celebrities, whatever. Everyone was like giddy for Bill. Like no one could keep their cool.
That is so funny because I remember reading about that somewhere while we were pet sitting for Pado.
It all comes around. I planned that. That was a thing I did on
I think it was
purpose.
from one of the newspapers that was on the ground.
Yeah,
He used to
at Joanne's apartment.
He was really old, so he
pee in the house.
Wait, I'm sorry, back up. Did you say you read this thing about Bill Murray
We're like
from
cleaning
the
up
newspaper that's on the ground that
floor. We're
Paddle peed
like,
on?
Bill Murray, a Halloween party. He's like like he hops around Halloween party.
Yeah.
Shoot, you said something that was, oh man, it was the perfect band name. Not regarding Bill, shoot, I forget. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm gonna repeat it. I'm gonna edit in it, because we're releasing this as a podcast. I'm gonna edit it in like 5 times in a row with some background music.
Everyone was like, giddy for Bill, giddy for Bill, giddy for Bill, giddy for Bill, giddy for Bill.
Speaking of background music, since we are coming up a little bit toward the end, yesterday we were discussing our mutual adoration of Friends, the TV show. I will drop Friends references, and I will not say that they're Friends references because nobody really cares. But you picked up on that yesterday. And I said that I have a Friends trivia game that nobody wants to play with me because I always get them right. So, I brought some trivia questions for you. So let's see. And I'm gonna make a mark here because I am gonna put some awful music behind it.
I'll be there for you.
No, that is copyrighted. We can talk about that later. Let me see. Let's start with, why did Rachel break up with her Italian lover?
Oh, because he grabbed Phoebe's ass.
Yes. Very well, yes. Okay, let's see. This one might be a little bit of a trick question. I'll take 2 answers because I forget. This one came out before the end of the series. Who played Rachel's sister?
Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
I thought we were doing civilly, but
No. Friends is a dog-eat-dog game. You gotta get in
I
there.
feel like we should have set up like some bells
yeah, I
or
was like,
something.
Oh man, we do have a bell. Is it in the box? It's not in the box.
I don't think it is.
What's in the box? Not the bell. Wow, a lot of these have to do with sex. I forgot about that. Let's see.
your cards first.
Let's see. Let's take a hand, all right? How did Monica betray Rachel with Ross's girlfriend, Julie? Yes.
They went shopping at Bloomingdale.
At Bloomingdale. Very well done. You are taking the game. All right, so we'll just do, this is pretty easy.
Lightning round.
Noelle's sweeping.
A lightning round. I majored in lightning rounds. That's another Friends reference for those of you who get that.
Oh god.
Whose tuxedo did Chandler want to wear only to find out it was too small? Yes.
Val Kilmer's is Batman,
So close.
but it wasn't actually.
It was the other one because it was too small.
Robin?
No. Nope, there was no. Oh, I stumped him.
No.
It was the one that was too small.
Oh, wait.
It was the one that was too small, not the one that was actually worn by Ross. Because you're thinking of the one that Ross wore.
It
one that
was
Chandler-
Is it Chris O'Donnell in like some?
Nope.
Okay.
So close. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's Pierce Brosnan
Oh, man.
as 007.
What was the Batman connection?
Val Kilmer, but it wasn't Val Kilmer. It was Val Kilmer to what was the one where he played blind guy?
Like anyone knows.
Can I just say for the record, this makes me really sad that I know any of this.
What season is
This
this
is bringing me no.
I just want to say I want to leave off on the one that you guys got wrong because I just want to rub it in your face. Super
I don't know if
Friends.
you got that right because you had the answer.
That's true, but it's my game. It's my
The
show.
one that was on Monica and Chandler's wedding, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So okay,
Oh,
you know what?
I never watched that season.
That's okay.
Do
Here.
you want to do 90 Simpsons? Double
Here.
nothing?
You want to pick one for me?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do you guys want to? Let's pick
Let's
a
see.
tough one.
Oh, I'm putting myself out there. Let's see. I might edit this out if I get it wrong.
I highly doubt.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Who is Ben's godfather?
Ben's godfather. Good question. Ben's godfather. They had a fight over it. Hold on. Hold on. Ooh, that's a tough one. Wait, ultimately?
Yeah. It's 50-50.
Are you being shamed on your own podcast?
I am being shamed on my own podcast. Oh. Did someone just take a picture of my fail? Did you just take a picture of my fail? Okay,
Believe in yourself.
I'm just gonna say Chandler.
Yes.
Okay.
I got that.
Okay, because they have no argument. Okay. I did it! So you didn't take a picture of my fail, you took a picture of me winning and rubbing it in the faces of the doubters.
That should have been time.
It was just humor.
I mean, okay, I'll play some music and make it fun. You were, by the way, supposed to do some music. Some,
Yes.
You know, our theme song. But I got it right!
Oh, that's me. Let's see, I felt that.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Hey everyone, Stephen Brooks here, cutting into my own show to let you know that this episode is supported by listeners like you on patreon.com/RubberOnion. If you like what you get from this show, you see value in it and want to keep it going, consider becoming a patron and get basically everything related to the podcast early and or exclusive, including our new Podcastimation, which you get to see a full month early. It's like a subscription, but you get to pick the amount. The more you give, the more you get. The show can go on. Patreon.com/RubberOnion. Check it out. As always, thanks for listening, and let's all meet up back at the forum on RubberOnion.com. I'll see you there. Does anybody have any questions for the filmmakers? Maybe not friends related. Or friends related. Or about anything. Cool, yes.
For the twins, do you ever have a desire to do your own films, or is it like an obligatory thing to include the other, or is it just the twin bond that makes you create together?
I don't know. Do you ever want to work without me?
Well, last night you told me that we were going to break up. We started fighting about a budget. We fight all the time.
That was a commercial thing.
But what's great is we always say at least we can fight and scream and then just act like it never happened.
Yeah, and we almost are with our student film, we fought so much that we probably never would have worked together. It was so bad. I felt really bad for our college roommates, but yeah, we like you said, it's good to be able to be really honest with someone and be like, no, I don't like your idea, and I don't take it personally when she says that. I'm like, okay, I'll try harder next time. I'll make a better joke.
Decided to go that route towards animation and just art in general.
Working together.
No, just I think just choosing animation, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Were you
both ended up
into it?
Yeah, we were both illustration majors originally, but we became friends with a bunch of animators at Pratt, and their homework was so much more fun than ours. And I didn't know that you could do that for work, and not be at Disney or something. And so we both changed majors because we always knew we wanted to work together if we did comics or something.
Yeah, it's also fun just having someone who's also up until 4 o'clock in the morning working when everybody else can go to sleep.
That must be nice for you guys.
You can work with us.
Well, what about you? When did you start animating? I mean, I majored in chemistry and then ended up being an animator, so I'm always interested in how people got there. If you had a streamlined view, or
I always loved animation, but in high school I never really got an opportunity to try. But I went to the Rhode Island School of Design for my undergrad, and by the end of I think actually it's second semester freshman year you have to choose your major, and I was interested, but luckily there was a 6-week course right after Christmas, which is called Winter Session, where you can kind of explore and try different classes. So I could have done glass making or glass blowing or pottery or whatever, and so you just can explore. And so I did an intro to animation, and I was like, oh, okay, this is it. So I'm gonna do forever. I'm good.
wait,
so,
was that a real thing that you were interested in, glass blowing? Did you try it, or did you just throw that out there as?
No, well, you could do that. I mean, it's like.
But could you do that? I mean, did you? Is that a thing that you were?
I can't do that, but I did take a class. I think it was junior, senior year, called Creature Creation, where I learned how to make giant foam latex costumes, Guar style.
Oh,
and that was the whole class was making a giant monster, so that was fun. So you can do lots of different stuff.
You made the monster.
Oh, I did.
What was it?
It was it had this giant kind of crocodile-style head, and it had this big sort of armor dome that went around my body. It was very dark crystal, because
yeah.
I was obsessed with Labyrinth and Jim Henson and stuff.
Sure.
And then it had these little dummy arms that hung here, and then it had my real legs hanging out. But then I would just sort of in the podcast, you won't see what I'm doing now. I'm waving my arm around.
Oh, that's okay. Do you have a picture of this?
I think it was on that old website that I.
Okay, if you do, send me a link and I'll put it on the podcast post.
Yeah.
So I'll
there's a really sad video of me on stage running around.
Really?
On
I should have had this prepped. It would have put it up and it says, do we have a clip?
Yeah.
Damn.
No, it just looks like a puppet nerd running around in a black stage. Like.
That's the perfect visual to leave it, unless someone else has any questions. Oh, you got one.
So for your short, you said it was Sesame Street commissioned you. So what was I guess they came to you saying that it was for Lunar New Year, and then did they give you anything else, like a time frame, like how long it had to be? Did they give you the music, or did you have to quick come up with a pitch? Were you competing with other artists, like putting a bid for it? Like, just what was the process?
Yeah, well, a friend of mine, Linda Beck, she recommended me because she worked with Sesame Studios, and they were interested in me doing the project. But I mean, it was actually very open. They knew they wanted what subject they wanted me to do, but once I was like, yeah, actually, I'm free for this availability. I think I got the offer like right. It was right after the election, so it was very hard to concentrate during that time. But and I think I delivered early January. But they were also wanted us to. Once they hired me, they're like, okay, now write a song for this, and I was like, okay, well, do you have like an artist you want me to work with? They're like, oh, we can recommend you someone, but if you have people that you'd want to work with, throw their name in the hat, and we'll see where this goes. And so I just literally, after I got that email, I went on Facebook. I'm like, hey, anybody I know out there is a composer? And my friend Leah Shore, who's actually one of the judges at Animation Block Party, and her friend Fritz Meyer, who's a composer, she was like, we'll do it. And then we just wrote a song together. And I'd never done that. So that was actually the most fun part of the project for me, because I mean, me and Leo, we collaborated on the lyrics together, and then Fritz put together the music. But it was a really interesting collaboration in that respect, because I had never done that before, and also trying to it was tricky, because I mean I was really excited to do the project, because being Asian American and being able to there's not a whole lot of good Chinese New Year's songs out there, and to be able to sort of represent the community and things like that, but also to do specifically Asian American, as opposed to being oh, this is what is traditionally what the standard for, because when I'm doing research, I realize that everybody celebrates a little bit differently, and there's different types of Asian New Year. There's Japanese and Korean and stuff, and so it was kind of tricky to sort of figure out okay, we want to be representing the community, but we also don't want to be so vague and trying to include everything that it sort of waters it down. So I just tried to relate to my own experience and how I remembered it growing up. And so I tried to make sure that the foods that I liked were there, and there's a part where there's this sort of tray of Chinese treats that no one actually really likes. But, there's two things in there that people actually like eating, but everything else is awful. It's ooh, kids love dried ginger. It's they really don't, but it's but I was no, we have to have that tray in there and stuff. And so that was what was the fun part for me, was sort of to put my own experiences in, and then to work with my two friends in a process where I had no idea how to write music, so just to sort of let go and let them sort of bring their own voice to the project. So it's more or less what happened.
Awesome. What is next? We'll leave that. You came up with an idea for an indie short, right?
Yeah. Which we're probably going to make for our Joy and I have a little screening that we put on every year called The Dumbest Shit I Ever Saw. And it's an animation festival that encourages animators to make a dumb, shitty short film just for fun, under 3 minutes. We would love it if people made them specifically for the screening, but we've started accepting older work within a year or two, just to have a fun night of I like to think of it as Dada for animation festivals, just anything goes. Don't take it too literally. It doesn't have to be about shit. But so we're gonna make a little, probably 1 minute film for that in about 5 days, because the deadline is August 6th, and then our screening is on August 13th at Nighthawks Low Res, if any of you want to come.
Cool. Yeah, we're also working on a commercial project for this company called Ralph & Co. We're gonna do, it's sort of like what you were saying about Snapchat, but it's an Instagram story, so it's a little sad because it'll only be up there for just
Yeah.
on the top of the Instagram feed.
I understand Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Like I can grasp
You should
that.
be able to understand Snapchat.
I should. I can't upload them after. Anyway, we'll talk.
Well, yeah. So we're doing it for Stranger Things. So we're geeking out because like we've done a little fan art for that before. So now we get to do 3 stories of Stranger Things for like episode 7, and they're working with 8 other artists to do the rest of the episodes. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to continue working. I don't know. That's my plan. No, but
right now.
Yeah. Seriously, but I like truly though, like I do want to carve out more because I mean I haven't really made a personal film since college really, and which is I mean in one respect it's good because that means that I've been busy and I'm gainfully employed, but I'm trying to figure out how to save some energy at the end of the day for my own stuff. But I think number 1 is definitely update my demo reel and website. So
Yeah, 7
which
years
is a
on.
full-time
Yep.
job in itself of archiving because after 7 years I've got some rifling to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our reel is 2 years old, so I don't feel too
7
bad.
girl. That's bad. Like it doesn't even work anymore. Like it's like Flash player enabled. I'm like I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I got to update it by 2020
Yeah.
because Flash Player's going.
I got a
away.
hard deadline.
Yeah, and we second the dumb show. By the way, the dumbest I ever saw. We went to the one last year, and there was a story that happened afterward, which the guy who came out, who is now a good friend of ours, specifically because I am his next of kin, written down on a hospital form in Bushwick because he got really drunk and we had to take him to the hospital. That story is a little bit crazier and not as sad.
Yeah, we
as
can't
it sounds.
promise
He's
that's gonna
fine.
happen
He's
this time.
fine. But it was a very long story that we told, and we edited it down, and we're going to animate that story, and it's going to be a dumb show. Hopefully,
I'm so
if we can get it done
excited.
on time, and edit a 35-minute story down to 3 minutes, because obviously I'm very verbose. Thanks for hanging out with us, and a hand to the talents. And yeah, so let's all have the rest of the coffee and donuts and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you.